Everybody, I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, good morning. It is Saturday, and it is the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us this morning. Listen, winter is over. It is now spring, but it's still chilly out there, isn't it? Pollen all over the place. All of my allergy people, make some noise. If you out there, sneeze for me right now if you got your allergies, because trust me, it has been getting me. So good morning to everybody out there. Make sure you take your whatever allergy medicine that you have. The pollen, the plants are blossoming. Wash your cars. Get that pollen off your cars, man, and get your stuff together as we continue to move forward in the spring with the spring. Oh, man, that's my favorite time of the year here in Louisiana, man. You start to have an opportunity for seeing the festivals. You get a chance to hang outside. Get a chance to do all the boils, all the grilling. Great time of year. But for my allergy people out there, I understand your pain. I understand what you're going through. The stuffiness, the sneezing, the red eyes, itchy eyes. It get rough on you. It get real rough. Hope everybody had a good week as we are now headed into spring. I am back. Last week, of course, I was out of studio. I was in Atlanta for the SWAC basketball tournament. And we're going to talk about that here on the show today. We're going to talk about Southern's run in the NCAA tournament. We're going to talk about some football. That's what y'all like. It's spring. I'm trying to hint at something. With it being the spring football is right there. And then, we're going to have Coach Chris Crenshaw is going to come on and talk to us about baseball, Southern baseball on the road this weekend over at Prairie View. We're going to have Coach Kevin Johnson come on and talk to us about Southern's men's basketball. We're going to recap the season and then start to look ahead. Season is officially over on basketball side, but for the men's, Coach Johnson, I reached out to Coach Funches, but he hit me back last night saying he did not know how things were going to be moving this morning in terms of them headed back. So I'll try to get Coach Funches next week. And then at 8:30, we're going to have Coach Mark Frederick, the offensive coordinator for Southern University over on the football side. We're going to talk some Southern University football. It's that time of the year, spring football. Of course, you guys are going to be calling in or sitting in, writing something about, hey, how we looking, what all's going on. Well, we're going to slowly but surely try to incorporate what's happening at spring football practice for you guys, the listening audience, to keep up with it. I'm going to talk about March Madness, your brackets. If anybody out there, how your brackets looking? Are they in shambles? Are you keeping up? Or did you just not do anything? How about your parlays? I know we got some gamblers out there. Yeah. Are you making 25-leg parlays in this NCAA tournament? I would suggest that you don't. I recommend that you don't make a 25-leg parlay because there's always one team doing something. Even this, it may be the over-under, the spread, whatever the case may be. Or simply the money line. But this is the time of year. It's March Madness, baby. NCAA tournament rocking and rolling. Couple upsets. I just got to give a shout out. Hey, even McNeese turned a lot of heads with a victory in the opening round against Clemson and really put it to him. Then, of course, Southern University getting its first ever NCAA tournament victory over UC San Diego. We're going to talk about all of that. I got a big show lined up for you guys. Just, y'all just bear with me on this Saturday. I'm getting back in the groove. I was up late last night watching the game, Southern and UCLA. The game here was 9 o'clock. And y'all know, I tell you, I try not to do late nights anymore on Fridays. Aside for last week, I was in Atlanta. I couldn't help myself, okay? Couldn't help myself. All right, let's get ready to take a break. I'm going to continue this thing as I slowly but surely get myself rocking and rolling this morning. Sometimes it take a little second to crank up. Sometimes I just sound like I'm saying anything. So give me a second. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, I'm going to get adjusted and get us rocking and rolling. All right, stay tuned. More to Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help, only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Making 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, it's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. It is we're rocking and rolling. It is Saturday. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys listening and watching with us. Everybody out there listening on 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. Glad to have you guys and everybody out there watching on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook Live. Glad to have you guys with us as well as we continue to get things going. It is March Madness currently. You know what that means? NCAA is rocking and rolling. The NIT, the WNIT. There's a lot of things going on right now as we come to the end of basketball, right? This is the last thing we're holding on to. Baseball is in full swing, and, of course, we're going to have Coach Chris Crenshaw come on and talk to us about Southern University baseball, and then I'll look around the conference at some of the teams. But because it is March Madness, let's pull out the brackets. Anybody did some brackets? I got a whole group going right now of all of us with our brackets. Last I checked, I was in first place. Now, you know how things change. Teams win, teams lose. You never know what you're going to get. But last night I was in first place. I didn't feel any type of way. I felt good about where I was with the teams that I picked. Now, we all know when it comes to March Madness, sometimes you never know where it's going to go. And I'm still in first place. I just picked it up. I'm just looking at it right now. You never know where it's going to go. You got to kind of go with your heart and not really what the stat line or the seedings look like. So let's start in the South region, right? For Perry, this is my bracket. I had Auburn, who was the number 1 seed. Alabama State, shout out to Alabama State. Did you guys check out that Alabama State at St. Francis game? Came down to the last play of the game with about a minute left, about a second left on the clock. Bama State tips it in, takes the lead, and get their first ever NCAA tournament victory. And, of course, 16 playing to 16 in the first 16 in, you get the number 1 seed. And I had Auburn over Alabama State. Auburn with a 30-point victory, 83-63 over Alabama State. Here's one where I picked Creighton over Louisville. I went with Creighton, who was the 9th seed, over HC Louisville, and Creighton won 89-75. I picked Michigan, who was the 5th seed, over 12th seed UC San Diego. UC San Diego had both men and women's basketball team in this year's tournament. Michigan barely held on, 3-point victory. I took Texas A&M over Yale, 80-71 as the number 4 Aggies moved on. Here's one. North Carolina was in that first 4 game as well as the 11th seed. Came out. Listen. Took on San Diego State, beat the people by 40. Ole Miss is a team who I saw in the SEC tournament. Crazy ending in that quarterfinal game against Arkansas. Did you guys see that? Where Ole Miss knocks down a 3 as time gets ready to expire to move on to the next round to take on Auburn. But North Carolina looked damn good in that first game. I actually picked them in this one over Ole Miss. I thought maybe, Ole Miss has shown throughout the season they can compete with some of the best teams in the country. They're the 6th seed. They got it done over North Carolina. This was my first mistake right here. Ole Miss gets it 71-64. I had Iowa State, the number 3 seed, over Lipscomb. Iowa State wins 82-55. I had another one. Here's another one. Number 7 Marquette over number 10 New Mexico. New Mexico gets the victory 75-66 and moves on to the next round. And here's a team I have not paid attention to all year. Didn't even realize they were that good, but now they're in my face. Michigan State, the Spartans. I forgot about Michigan State. I'm so caught up in SEC basketball being in the South and SWAC, I just completely missed out on Michigan State being the number 2 seed, but I picked them, of course, just by the name. 87-62 over Bryant, number 15 seed. So in the round of 32 coming out of the South, I have Auburn versus Creighton. I got that. I got Michigan versus Texas A&M. I messed up with the North Carolina, so it's Ole Miss versus Iowa State. I got that. Then I messed up with Marquette, New Mexico over Marquette, and I have New Mexico and Michigan State. So far, 2 mess-ups on my bracket. That's just out of the South. All right, let's move over to the West. Number 1, Florida taking on the number 16 seed Norfolk State, winners of the MEAC. Norfolk with a great season, 1-point victory in the MEAC championship over South Carolina State. They found themselves in the NCAA tournament, did not have to play in the first 16 game. And Florida flexed their muscles to show why they was the number 1 seed in this one. 95-69, I went Florida. Here's another one I picked. 8 versus 9, very tricky right there with UConn and Oklahoma. I went UConn over Oklahoma, 67-59. The Huskies continue to move on for me. Memphis let me down. Number 5 seed Memphis against 12 seed Colorado State. Colorado State with the upset. 78-70. Memphis, what's going on? 0-3 in your last 3 NCAA appearances. I took Maryland, who was the 4th seed, 81-49 over number 13 Grand Canyon. Here's my upset right here where I got it right. Drake over Missouri, right? Missouri had a phenomenal turnaround. They were a team last year that was just horrible in the SEC. Then they turned it around this year, became a top 25 team, but something in me said Perry picked Drake. The number 11 seed versus the number 6 seed, I took Drake over Missouri, and it paid off 67-57. Drake moves on to the next round. I took Texas Tech, number 3 seed, over North Carolina Wilmington, 82-72. Hey, here's another one. Y'all know when I say I have my favorite Confederate teams, you know I'm a big Arkansas Razorback fan. How about the Razorbacks and Coach John Calipari in year 1, down to 7 guys on the rosters, made a tough push in the SEC tournament, and then got a chance to go against Bill Self and the legendary Kansas Jayhawk program. The Razorbacks hang on 79-72 with an upset 10 seed over the 7 seed. First time Kansas has been knocked out of the opening round. And then St. John over Nebraska, Omaha, 82-53. So the way things are looking in the next round of 32, coming out of the West, I got it right. Florida over UConn, Florida versus UConn. Memphis let me down, so it's Colorado State. Maryland, I got Drake and Texas Tech right there together. And I got Arkansas and St. John. So far in my bracket, I got 3 mess-ups. Just 3. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the East. Duke over Mount St. Mary's. Of course, Duke right now, woo, looking good, 93-49. I picked Baylor in that 8 versus 9. Baylor over Mississippi State, 75-72. I took Oregon over Liberty, number 5. Oregon, number 5 seed Oregon, 81-52 over Liberty. Arizona finally stepped up. Akron was a pretty good team coming out of the MAC. I had checked them out as the season went on. They were a really good team, but no match for Arizona. 93-65 as the number 4 seed defeats the number 13 seed. Here's another one where I thought I was going to get another upset with that 11 versus 6. VCU versus BYU. We have seen VCU in the NCAA tournament turn some heads over the years, but BYU got it done. This was my first mistake on this one. 80-71 BYU. I took Wisconsin, the number 3 seed, over Montana, 85-66. I took St. Mary's, the 7 seed, over Tennessee Vanderbilt, 59-56. And, of course, I took the Alabama Crimson Tide, the number 2 seed, over Robert Morris, in which they won 90-81. So if we move on to the round of 32, now in the East, I got it right. Duke versus Baylor, Oregon versus Arizona. Here's a slash. BYU beat VCU. And they'll take on Wisconsin. And I have St. Mary's versus Alabama. So I'm not doing so bad right now, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go to the Midwest and check things out. And go through your brackets with me. Let me know how you're doing. Check your parlays. Number 1, Houston over Edwardsville, 78-40. Of course, I went with Houston. I took number 8. That 8 and 9 is a tricky one. And that 11 versus 6 is a tricky one. I took Gonzaga, the number 8 team, 89-68 over number 9, Georgia. Just wasn't impressed with Georgia. How about this one? Some told me to go with Will Wade. I just figured Clemson was going to get it done. McNeese took off on them in the first half, and Clemson battled back as much as they could in the second half, still fell short. I mean, all the way down to the end. McNeese with the upset, 12 seed versus the number 5 seed, 69-67 McNeese with their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Move on, and Will Wade, of course, now moving on to NC State. Curious to see how long he's going to stay with this program with the success that they're having. I took number 4, Purdue, over High Point, 75-63. Here's another one where I rolled with Illinois. Illinois early on, and as the season started, looked like a really good team. 86-71 over Xavier, the 11 seed. Kentucky moves on over Troy, number 3, Kentucky 76, number 14 seed Troy 57. I took UCLA over Utah State, and Tennessee, the number 2 seed, 77-62 over Wofford. All right, as we move on to the round of 32, I have Houston and Gonzaga right. McNeese snuck me. They're going to have a tough one over Purdue. I got Illinois and Kentucky, which I think is going to be a really good game, and UCLA over Tennessee. How you guys looking thus far? How you looking thus far? It sound like so far I'm doing all right. I'm not too far off. I'm doing all right. I'm still first place in my group. Now, the games today, I don't know what to tell you. You're on your own, right? I don't know what to tell you today. But I'm just saying, anybody with a perfect bracket, do those still exist? 121 people with perfect brackets? Less than 1%? Woo! I'll take them to the casino with me so far. But it's just the opening round. Let's see how far things go. Once again, shout out to McNeese, getting it done here for the state of Louisiana on the men's side. But that's the NCAA tournament right there for you. March Madness it hadn't really showed its head too much. I told you there was a couple upsets. My biggest one so far was Drake getting the victory over Missouri. And then I'll take Arkansas over Kansas. Now, Arkansas is going to have their hands full today with Rick Pitino and St. John, a team that can play some great defense. All right, let's take a break. That's enough for March Madness until the 8 o'clock hour. But now let's talk some baseball. So let's get ready to take a break, and I'll come back on the other side. I'm going to have Southern University head baseball coach, Coach Crenshaw, talk to me about some SWAC baseball and what they're doing this weekend in the series against Prairie View. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast, and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. First down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. First down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the first down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks. As a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks. Fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
All right, we're back. Good morning to everybody. It's the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. It is 7:33 a.m. here Central Standard Time. Good morning, everybody listening out there on 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching across the world on our YouTube channel and our Facebook Live. Good to have you guys. Be sure to go hit that subscribe button and hit that like and follow as you continue to keep up with us and we grow together. And as we continue to show this morning, very special guest. He is the head baseball coach over at Southern University. Want to welcome to the show this morning. He's on the road, my man, Coach Crenshaw. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, man, listen, you guys are on the road. It's been some time since I had an opportunity to talk to you on the radio, but I get a chance to catch you out all the time, man, when we're out and about. Listen, the Jaguars right now in the season, 8-11 overall, 1-3 in conference play. You guys are on the road this weekend at Prairie View, but let's take a look back last week, Coach, as you guys took on – hold on, let me see where I'm at. Lost where I'm at. Matter of fact, I'm looking at the wrong thing. You had Alabama State last week, correct?
Yeah.
Alabama State at home at Lee Hines Field. The game, you had 2 games moved to Friday because of weather, but then you were able to move forward and play a Sunday game. Let's go back and look at those 2 games against Alabama State, a team that's pretty tough in this conference. You fall short in the first one, 14-8, and 18-12 in the second one, but then you win that Sunday game 11-3. Let's look at that series against a pretty tough Alabama State team, Coach.
Well, first off, the wind was blowing out probably about 45 miles an hour. Those first 2 games was a little bit of a home run derby because of the wind. All you had to do was touch it and get it up in the air, and it was getting out of there. They took advantage of it. We couldn't get a stop. And when we did get a stop, it was late in the game, and we made a run to get back in it, but we didn't stop them early enough to come out on top.
I look back at even that midweek game against UL. You guys fought hard, and that was 7-5 as you fall short over at UL. What are you seeing with your team as, you're starting to get through the season. You're now in conference play. What are you learning about this team, and what is this team learning about itself that you can see from a coaching position?
That we can score some runs. We just got to find a way to stop somebody. I thought pitching would be one of our strengths, and right now, I just got to find the right mix of guys to get in the game in certain situations to help us try to win a game. I think once I figure out who those guys are, we'll be okay.
As a mind of a coach, for people that's out there listening, because for a lot of us, it's so easy to criticize coaches, and it's so easy for us to say what we would do, but there's a difference when you're the coach, you're looking at your roster, you're recruiting these guys, you're at practice, you're talking to these guys each and every day. As you go through developing and then saying, all right, I'm watching this guy get better as the season goes on, or I'm watching a guy not get better as the season goes on, or you know what, it's just best, let me give this guy an opportunity. Let's just throw him in the fire and see how he performs. What goes into the decision-making as a coach, especially on the baseball side of how you line up your roster on any given game day, because you guys play so many games throughout the week and during those weekend series to where, you're feeling comfortable enough being able to put a guy in a position to see if he can succeed that particular game or in that particular series?
So, I pay attention to how they work and what they're working on, and making sure that we're having conversations to let them know, hey, this is where you'll be getting in the game, or this role is what you'll be in. And, sometimes you got to trust your eyes, and sometimes you got to trust your gut. I've been trusting my eyes and missing, coming up short on making decisions. So I just gotta get back to. I just gotta get back into the feel of the game and understand who we have. Because it's a bunch of new guys. And early in the year, I was just putting guys in, putting them in the fire to see how they would respond. Well, now it's more so the character of the person and like his demeanor that determines where he goes in now.
You know, I look at on the Major League Baseball side, and Coach Kadar talks to me about this all the time about how baseball, and it goes back to what you're talking about from what a coach can see and how he feels more to the analytics. And it seems on the Major League side that analytics plays a huge part in the decision making of rosters and everything else. How much does analytics play a part for you on the collegiate side, and more in particular for your program?
If we have that information and it's presented in front of us, then yeah, I'll look at it. But where we at right now, we really don't have anything like that where we can, like really just make decisions based off the analytics like they do in the big leagues. They actually have like 5 or 6 people in those roles that put all those numbers together to give to the coach, so he can look at the information. We don't have anything like that yet. That would be something that I would like to get, but you know, in order to get stuff like that and try to improve what you have, you got to win. And the goal is to get a championship. And I get that championship. That's something that I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask for somebody who I can put in the analytics spot that knows what's going on and can read the data and break it down and share it to me and the team. I mean, I understand it, but we'll have to school and teach my assistant coaches and the players how to look at it to put it into information to where they can use.
Let me ask you, as we begin to look at this team and things unfold as we get into SWAC play, let's start with the infield. Let's go first, second, shortstop, third base, back around to our catch and pitch. Give us some names of some guys as you're watching, and you're saying you're going with your heart and you're going with your mind when you're making decisions, of some guys making plays and that you see growing up for you, just starting with the infield.
So first baseman, senior Dylan Jones, is coming into himself. He's got 5 home runs on the year. Right now he's out. He got injured against Incarnate Word. So we're playing a freshman right now, Brent Stewart, at first base. At second base, we got KJ White, who was our shortstop last year. He's moved over to second base. Him and EJ Gregory and Jalen Mack all battling for that. And at shortstop, we got a freshman, Benny Bakar. He's been playing solid. He's out this weekend. His grandfather passed away, so he went home for his funeral. And then at third base, we got a new guy as well, but he's a senior. But he's new to the program, Taj Bates. And he's hitting in a 3-hole for us, leading us in RBIs and batting average, I believe. And catching, we got a senior. We got 2 seniors and a freshman that's all contributing right now, because trying to figure out who's going to give us the best, who's going to be the best for us at the catcher spot. And right now, each one of them is catching a game for us on the weekend, but we need to lock in and it'd be one person that we can get in the offense, get in the lineup consistently and get consistent at bats. And then in the outfield, in right field, we got return to Cameron Bird. He's playing right field. In center field, we got another returner that didn't play a whole lot, but Jacoby Radcliffe. And he's been swapping out with a new guy that we have, Cardell Thibodeau, who's leading the team in home runs. He's up there in RBIs and batting average as well. I think he had 8 home runs. He hit a grand slam yesterday. And then left field, we got a new guy, Jalen Lucky. He's doing all right. He was 0 for 4 yesterday. He hit a ball that probably was a home run that got robbed yesterday. That may have been a big boost for us offensively yesterday. But the outfielder from Prairie View jumped up and caught it and brought it back in the park. So we got a lot of new faces all over the place that we're dependent on. And that right now they're doing it. Then on the mound, We got Renard Grace, who's leading the bunch. He had 10 strikeouts yesterday in 6 innings. And we got well, it's new to him, Niall Banks. He's a senior. Been here 3 years struggling, and then this year he's having some success. He's starting for us in the second game. And in the third game, Nick Lucky, a senior. He's been here the whole time, working and getting better and improving. His senior, he's a weekend starter for us. He threw a complete game last weekend against Alabama State. And I'm pleased and I'm happy with him. In the bullpen is where we got a whole bunch of new faces. We returned probably 2 or 3 guys that threw last year more than 12 innings for us. And we got a bunch of new faces back there trying to help us close games out. I got to find the right mix, but Peyton Huff is one of the guys that was a freshman last year, sophomore this year, that's holding it down. And he's going out there keeping it close for us and giving us a chance.
I look back, you guys went up to Georgia and took on Mercer. Mercer is a team who I saw with a big midweek game and got a victory this week. But looking at that game in Mercer, you guys went over and got a victory. What did you see in this team and a team playing against that competition, even like Mercer?
That we had a confidence that we can go out and score, and that we can play with anybody. We just got to put it all together. Like I said, it goes back to making the right decisions, putting people in the game at the right time for us to win the game and have a chance to win the game at the end.
And looking at you guys, and it sounds like the veteran players, your vets at the outfield sound like a lot of infield players, like you said, a lot of young guys. So that comes with the growing pain, that comes with the experience of constantly getting in. Looking at this series this weekend against Prairie View, of course, we all saw what happened with Prairie View. They had a brawl against Jackson State, and some players were suspended, and the whole thing got of that. But when you look at this team, what do you see out of Prairie View scouting them this weekend?
They athletic. Those guys playing with a chip on the shoulder. And the guys, they only lost one player that really benefit. They really played hard. Those other guys that got suspended really aren't guys that they like have a lot of weight on their shoulders to perform for them. But other than that, they got their whole team as one guy mainly that they're missing. But they playing hard. They played quality defense yesterday. And yesterday's game came down to one mistake. Basically, we gave up a home run, but we also threw a ball away that extended the lead. If we make that play on the ball we throw away is 7-5, and we still got a chance, and there's still some pressure on them to make pitches and make plays behind them. But when you get a lead and it's 4 runs or more later in the game, you can kind of throw fastballs and let guys get themselves out. And basically, that's what they did yesterday, the last 2 innings. And we had a couple chances, but hey, we came up short. Baseball is different than basketball and football. We got back at it again today at 2 with a chance to tie the series up. And we got to come out, take care of business early, and then get ready for Sunday.
As the legendary Coach Roger Kadar would say, baseball is a game filled with failures. You're going to have a lot of them as a player and everything else. Hey, for all my Jaguar fans out in Houston and Texas area, be sure to get over there today and support Coach Crenshaw at Southern University baseball. First pitch today, 2 o'clock out at Prairie View. And then tomorrow, as they close out the series, first pitch is going to be at 1 p.m. tomorrow at Prairie View. Then you guys will be in Lake Charles on Tuesday taking on McNeese State. So all our Lake Charles people and everybody in that area, be sure to come out to McNeese at Joe Miller Ballpark on this Tuesday, pitch at 6 p.m. to cheer on Southern versus McNeese. And then you guys are back on the road again next week, Coach, at Daytona, taking on Bethune-Cookman. So it'll be a while before you're back at home. So I'm hoping the Jaguar Nation in all of these different areas with Lake Charles and Houston for sure come out and support you guys. I don't know how deep we are out in Florida, particularly that Daytona Beach area, but nonetheless, you guys on the road, and that's my last question, taking the team on the road so much, and we know, hey, in baseball, especially for those northern teams, this time of the year, they're on the road a lot. But for you guys, what is that like, and how do you keep you guys going being on the road so much at this time of the year?
It's a bit much. Last week we had midterms going on, trying to keep those guys locked in, but also letting them know, hey, you got to take that midterm. You miss practice or you're late for the game, you got to do it. I'm always pushing academics. Those guys understand that. But, I mean, it's something the SWAC office has to look at. I brought it to their attention. The last 3 years, I'm the only team that's been on the road 3 straight weekends in a row in conference play. I looked at everybody else's schedule the last 3 years. Nobody's done that. I'm the only one every year that's on the road back-to-back weekends, conference play. And I mean, it takes a load on the team. You got to get on the bus, ride 3-5 hours instead of waking up in your own bed consistently. But it is what it is. We got to make the best. We had a good crowd in Mercer from the alumni base out there in Atlanta. They showed up in Mercer. Then we played at home. We had a good weekend against St. Peter's where we swept all 3. And then Alabama State, of course, we was at home. But we got this weekend, and I haven't heard from anybody in the Daytona Beach area about showing up. But they do send the alumni base do send emails, and they ask about when we get in there and the times and stuff where they can come show support or bring food or whatever. So that has been good. I can't complain about that at all. It's another thing I wanted to share. But I picked up my 100th win last weekend against Alabama State.
Congratulations, Coach.
I appreciate it. It's a big deal in the baseball world. Any coach in any part of it. All 100 at Southern University. I'm proud of that, and it definitely felt good to pick up.
Congratulations to you, man, picking up your 100th victory. I hope, hey, let's get 100 more. Come on, let's.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm willing for you, man. Let's get 100 more on top of that one. How about that?
Hey, I'm down for that.
Man, Coach, I appreciate you coming on this morning, man. I know it's early, but, man, you guys are on the road and you're talking about having to get your team prepared. You guys are at Prairie View today. First pitch at 2 o'clock. All of our Jaguar Nation fans out in that Houston area, be sure to get over there and support Southern versus Prairie View today and tomorrow. Coach, thank you for coming on this morning, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me get it out there.
Yes, sir. That's my man, Coach Chris Crenshaw, Southern University head baseball coach. Let's get ready to take a break, and we'll come back on the other side as we get ready to close out the 7 o'clock hours. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket, and his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
pass. It's a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. 3rd down. And 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing. Nice catch made.
Receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. You know, I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down and 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet, and Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back 5 yards. Levy on 3rd down. Looking down the sideline.
But this as we continue to keep things going. I'm Perry White. And this is 107.3 FM here in the Baton Rouge capital city area. Everybody out there listening and watching on our YouTube channel and all across. Be sure to go and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at the Jaguar Journal. We're also on X and Instagram at the Jaguar Journal _. And just simply type in, if you got Facebook, Jaguar Journal, and keep up with us on all across those, man. Look, we'd love to have you to continue to keep up as we are growing here on the Jaguar Journal. Excuse me. And keeping it pushing. Something I saw real quick before we get to the top of the hour I wanted to talk about. It was, once again, right, it is Southern, but I want to talk about the impact that I've seen with McNeese State and their victory over Clemson in the NCAA tournament. Of course, they got their first victory in the NCAA tournament Thursday as they knocked off 5th seed Clemson 69-67. But I saw something about the McNeese State University website crashed after countless fans from around the country and the world flocked to the website to learn about the university. How awesome is that? And then to listen to their president say they did the analytics and they found after that victory, they estimate that they have generated nearly $50 million in free advertisement towards McNeese State University. This begins to show the power of what the NCAA tournament can be. Because how often do we look at the tournament every year in March Madness and there's a school and we say, who the hell is that? Where the hell are they? Can I say hell? Is that a good word? Can I say? All right. Just don't want to get in trouble. But I ask that to myself when I see some of these things. I'm like, who the hell is this team? Never heard of them. Don't know where they at. Got to go on my phone. You remember that team, St. Peter's? They were like the game. No, they was some type of peacock or something. Every time I think about the peacock, I think about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Carlton was walking around in that peacock mascot outfit. But every year it asks us, we have these questions where we ask, who are these teams? And it shows the power of this tournament just looking at what McNeese has decided to do and following the analytics, over $50 million in free advertisement from this. Their website crashed to so many people trying to go figure out who they were. Along with their team managers signing NIL deals with Buffalo Wild Wings, TurboTax, Insomnia Cookie, and countless others. And you best to believe this helps for a school like McNeese, who is having a decline in enrollment. Man, this shows how big this time of the year. It shows why you take athletics serious, because athletics is the front door. It is the front porch to any institution. This right here is what makes it special about why you have to take athletics serious, why you got to go out and win those games, and why you got to invest in your programs and support, because when you do things like this, it comes back tenfold for your institution. Let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back going to the top of the hour. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back more of the Jaguar Journal.
Quarter with Jackson State leading 10-3. Ball's at the 31-yard line. Again, throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. And every time you think Southern struggles, they come back, they make a play. They've done it all year long. Kick is up, kick is good. Second down and a yard to go. Again, they give it to Lewis. Lewis finds room. Lewis still on his feet. Lewis making a move to the outside. He's inside the 25, the 10, the 5. What a run by Ryan Lewis. 69-yard run for Ryan Lewis. And how about this? Kicks up, kicks good. Halftime, George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Southern trailed in this football game 10-7. Then they reel off 14 straight points, and they do it with the big plays.
And that's something that we didn't think would happen, at least from Southern's perspective. They've been able to methodically go down the field on people and win ball games, not the big plays. You saw the big play by Ryan Lewis running 69 yards, the nice throw by Terrence Levy. This is something that I don't think Jackson State thought they would see in Southern either, and they go into halftime down by 7 points.
Jackson State came in the best defense out of the SWAC. And if you take a look at the highlights, you will see that this club, and I'm talking about Southern, was really able to capitalize on a couple of miscues, and the big plays are the result of it.
And this is Daniel Guy with a nice stiff arm to Bradley Pittman there. And he runs that ball 36 yards inside for a touchdown, makes it 7-3. And then Terrence Levy, quarterbacking, throws a big bomb to Michael Hayes, who gets by Rashard Anderson and waltzes into the end zone for a 69-yard reception. And then the big run by Ryan Lewis, a scat back for Southern, races 69 yards for the score. And that's where it stands right now, 17-10. Southern is on top.
Passing leaders in the conference, Donald Hayes from Grambling, your top passer. Washington, second, but he's intercepted right there. This time the inside handoff,
and the ball was dropped to Tommy Head.
Here's Taylor in the pocket, looking downfield and looking for Leroy Fields, and this one looks intercepted, and it is.
He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
pass.
It's
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. Hayes now with 187 yards receiving. 169-yard touchdown, 181-yard touchdown.
And Southern's came up with all the big plays.
They lead by 14. And that one is intercepted by Darden. Darden looking for some room, and Guyan will finally drag him down. But we start the fourth right after this. 2nd down and 20 after the penalty.
Oh, he's got a man wide open.
Going into the corner. Touchdown! Reynolds attempting the point after. It's good. A 32-yard field goal. Kick is up. Kick is good.
This is a great football game.
We knew it would be, though. And Torrey Thigpen got us out of our seats.
And this is the punt return by Torrey Thigpen. We were just talking about we haven't seen him. He breaks 2 tackles and runs up the sideline. He has great blocking, but gets pushed out of bounds on about the 1-yard line.
And touchdown Jackson State.
The game is a game of momentum swings. Snap is good. The kick is up.
On driver. Yes, sir.
The ball up to the big receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out of bounds at the 10-yard line. An I formation. Oh! Fumble Levy. He kicks it and falls on top of it.
Touchdown. Receiver that has not seen much action comes up big.
All right, here we go. We're back. It's the Jaguar Journal, top of the hour, 8:02 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm Perry White. Good morning to everybody out there listening on 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching across the world on our YouTube channel and on X on on Facebook. Be sure to go hit that like and subscribe button on our Facebook page and hit that, like and follow button on our Facebook page and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, man. It's so much. I'm naming X, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Just follow us on all of that stuff, man. Listen, we're not hard to find. The Jaguar Journal is pretty easy. All right, talking about March Madness, I just talked about the impact that McNeese State had in terms of winning in the NCAA tournament. Now let's look at Southern University. Let's take a step back as I get into the groove of things this morning of women's basketball. Reached out to Coach Carlos Funches. Of course, they had a late game last night, so I'll try to get him on next week. But Southern wins the SWAC tournament last week and win the SWAC tournament championship. Had Santoria Black come on, and we recapped the tournament leading up into the championship. It was Alcorn State versus Southern in the SWAC championship on the women's side, and Southern goes in and gets the job done 64-44 of Alcorn State. Alcorn, for the second consecutive year, have found themselves in the SWAC championship tournament game, and for Southern, for the second time in 3 years, have found themselves winners of the SWAC tournament championship game as they represented the conference in the NCAA tournament. Let's look back and look at Southern versus Alcorn for the SWAC tournament championship. In that game, Southern shot 21 of 54 for 38%, 6 of 19 from the three-point line, shooting 31%, and a very good day at the free throw line, shooting the best that I've seen in some time, 16 of 17 for 94%. They defense clamped down on Alcorn. Alcorn could not do much as Alcorn shot 16 of 45 in that ball game for 35%. They were 4 of 18 from the three-point line, shooting 22%, and 8 of 11 from the free throw line, shooting 72%. Southern out-rebound Alcorn in that championship game, 34 rebounds to 29. Those 24 rebounds for Southern defensively, and that's another 10 offensively to get them that 34 rebounds on the game. And Southern wins the championship. You know, all I kept hearing was, do you know what SWAC stands for? SWAC, Southern wins another championship. And congratulations to Coach Carlos Funches and the Southern University women's basketball team for winning their second championship in 3 years. And this year made it a lot more special because they were the SWAC regular season champion and then went on to win the SWAC tournament as the number 1 seed. Coach Funches gets it done. Then we go to Selection Sunday. We're all at TJ Ribs. We're all waiting to see where the Jags are going to head, and they put them in the first 16 game against the University of California, San Diego. And I'm not going to lie, when I saw this game, I've always been iffy with our matchups against these types of teams. And when I say these types of teams, when you look at them, they mirror us in so much more, in so many ways. But it's what do we do with the adjustment and the coaching and the players that we have in order to go out? The last time against Sacred Heart, I thought Southern was the better team in that NCAA first 16 game in. But Sacred Heart came out and did what they needed to do. They made the adjustments. They hit on all cylinders, and they got the victory over Southern, which I was a little embarrassed behind that because I knew in my heart of hearts Southern was the better team. So coming into this one, I kind of was holding on to that a little bit. I'm like, man, I feel like Southern is the better team because what I've seen them do defensively this year. Southern's defense, man, locked down. Let's look at this game against UC San Diego. First time I had heard of them, once again, I got them confused with San Diego State. Here we go once those NCAA tournament moments where you see a team, you say, well, who the hell is that? I didn't know who UC San Diego was. I had them confused with San Diego State. That's what happens. I'm not in that region of the country. I don't watch UC San Diego basketball often, do you? Hell no, you don't. You found out about them just like me with both teams in the NCAA tournament. But I'm pretty sure it's the same way for them. Who Southern? Not Southern. Who is Southern? Where's Southern at? You know, that's how they get when they talk about us. And it's not the Jaguar. They call us the Jaguars. We're the Jaguars. The Southern Jaguars. They do us any kind of way on television. But I'm here to clarify the Southern Jaguar. And I'm pretty sure they're asking who the hell is Southern. I wished our website would have crashed from all of the people inquiring about us. But listen, a proud Jaguar right here. And I have to say congratulations to Coach Carlos Funches as Southern University women's basketball team went into the NCAA tournament, and I don't think anybody really gave them a chance, regardless if it was 2 16 seeds. It's just always a little stigma that they have. That's an HBCU. I don't know. And you can hear where the broadcasters, how they talk up the other team so much more. I hear it. It don't get past me. But Southern goes out on the women's side and win their first ever NCAA tournament basketball game. Coach Funches wins his first NCAA tournament game as a coach and his staff. Congratulations to them. And a hell of a game in this one, man. What they were raining threes in the first half, 68-56 over UC San Diego. In this one, Southern shoots 25 of 51, shooting 49%, 6 of 10 from the three-point line. And at one time, they were 4 of 4 from three-point in the first half, shooting 60%. They were 12 of 16 from the free throw line, shooting 75%. On the other side for UC San Diego, they were 21 of 61, shooting 34%. Tough day shooting the three for them. Pretty much shot themselves out of this game, but had they connected on half of these, man, you're talking about a different ball game. 9 of 26 from the three-point line, shooting 34%, and they were 5 of 6 from the free throw line, shooting 83%. Southern with the rebounds, second chance points in this one. 36 rebounds to UC San Diego's 29 rebounds. Very impressed with Southern in this ball game. Turned a lot of heads. Now, the second half, they went away from shooting the threes. They forced the issue, but nonetheless, they doubled down on defense. And they won their first NCAA tournament game in school history. Exciting moment for me watching this. I was at a bar. I made them turn every TV on in there. We supporting Southern now. We're going to watch Southern. Is it LSU? No, it is not. But so what? Let's not look down. And I'm just surprised there wasn't that many watch parties around Baton Rouge and all over the place. I'm really surprised. I didn't see a lot of watch party advertisement. And I had to ask for the remote where I was at. Look, let me change the channel. And everybody then began to tune in. That's how you brand. That's how you market. We got to push that envelope where we are to let people know. Don't overlook Southern. Oftentimes, I feel like we do get overlooked. Like we're counted out. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, Southern. But we got to create that pride and then push that pride out to the community and to the world out there to let them know we are Southern. That's right. You damn right. And we support. We don't shy away because you feel a certain name, it seems to be bigger or in your mind better. No, we should not shy away from that. And for me last night, a late game, 9 o'clock tip-off Central Standard Time. It was 7 o'clock on the West Coast. Southern took on the number 1 seed UCLA Bruins. This is when you don't shy away. You don't care about the name of the other school. You care about the support that you have for your school. Hey, I had it last night for UCLA. Listen, you started to see the separation of what it takes to be a good team and an elite team last night. UCLA gets it done as the number 1 seed as they defeat number 16 seed Southern 84-46. Southern shoots 19 of 60 in this one for 31%, 2 of 15 from the three-point. You see how I go on that threes. There's some it's good, and sometimes it's not. You live by the 3, and you can die by the 3. But they were in desperation mode last night. 2 of 15 from the three-point line, shooting 13%. 6 of 11 from the free throw line, shooting 54%. On the other side for UCLA, who made their night at the free throw line, they were 26 of 47 shooting from the field for 55%, 9 of 20 from the three-point line, shooting 45%, and 23 of 30 from the free throw line, shooting 76%. They out-rebounded Southern, 44 rebounds to 23, 35 rebounds defensively, 9 offensively. On the other side for Southern, 14 defensively, 9 offensively. Looking at these teams, now listen. It was about what and what with UC San Diego when you look at the size comparison. Southern just had a few more ballers than what UC San Diego had to rely on in pretty much 2 players. Southern is a physical team that plays defense, and Southern's defense gave UCLA fits in that first half. Southern slowed the game down and forced UCLA to go to the free throw line. UCLA did knock down some crucial threes when they needed it, but you saw the difference between good and elite. Elite is the size. UCLA is long, they're lanky. They're going to force you to have to shoot from the perimeter. It is tough to get inside on them. And more importantly, it's tough to get second chance shots. Southern was getting them. Southern would have to get more efficient offensively. The looks were there last night. If they knocked down about 5 or 6 of those shots that they completely just missed under the goal, you're talking about a different ball game at halftime. And I'm just giving you from my observation. The opportunities was there nonetheless. They were there for the Jaguars last night. And Southern's defense forced UCLA to work hard. Did anybody watch the interview before halftime of the UCLA young lady? She was breathing as hard as she could. Southern was making them work. This was no easy game. This was no slouch early on. But you got to make the layups. You got to get the rebounds. You got to take advantage of the opportunities because, listen, when you play teams like UCLA and those elite teams, because once again, there's a difference between good and an elite, and you saw it, you have to take advantage of every opportunity when you get it. You have to. And you saw the difference in last night's game as UCLA was able to pull away. They knocked down the shots when they needed. Big three here, layup there, second chance shot here. But nonetheless, I got to give a shout out to Southern, man. You played hard. You didn't go away. That defense, man. If we can add that offensive scoring power with UCLA, I'm telling you, Southern, listen. And the thing about this is, what we got to realize in every sport aside from football, we compete for national championships, not SWAC championships. I want to say that again, and I want to say that across the entire landscape. SWAC, MEAC, whatever the case may be. Outside of football, let's remember, we play in the field with everybody else. We compete for national championships, not just SWAC championships. We got to have our minds set and prepared that we can go play for a national championship. And yes, SWAC championships are good to win because, yes, you're the best in your conference. Then you look beyond and say, hey, here we are on the larger scale, what we can go do. Can we turn some heads as we begin to build our profile? Congratulations to the Southern University women's basketball team on the season that they had SWAC regular season champion and SWAC tournament champion, winning their first ever game in the NCAA tournament. Hats off to Coach Carlos Funches and those young ladies and his staff. Congratulations, man. We love you. Thank you for all that you did for this year. And let's get ready to build for next year. And for me, let's get ready to take a break. And I'll be back on the other side. We're going to talk with Coach Kevin Johnson, the head basketball coach, men's side at Southern University. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more at the Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
And they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities. Finding a way to win the games late with 4 fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
All right, we're back. Good morning to everybody. It's 8:18 a.m. here Central Standard Time. Glad to have you guys with us. I'm Perry White. It's the Jaguar Journal. Everybody out there listening across the Baton Rouge capital city area on 107.3 FM, and all of our listeners across the world watching live on our YouTube and Facebook. Good to have you guys with us, and got a very special guest here on the show. He's no stranger. We kept up with him all season, and glad to have him this morning. He is the head basketball coach, men's basketball coach at Southern University. Want to welcome to the show this morning my man, Coach Kevin Johnson, also known as Coach KJ. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Perry. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. It's a beautiful day. The only thing that would make it better is if we were dancing right now.
I totally understand. Let me ask, do coaches in the situation where, if you don't make the turn, do you do a tournament bracket?
No, I don't. I'm too much of a fan. I enjoy these games. I love the upsets, but at one time I used to do it, but I don't do a bracket anymore.
All right, let's go back and recap the season for Southern University, man. You guys won the SWAC regular season title and then got to the SWAC tournament, and things kind of fell short. And listen, you had me stressed out with Grambling. That ending the regulation, going into overtime, it was just all over the place. And Grambling would just not go away, a team who you had beat twice in the regular season. But you guys ended the season overall 20 wins on the season, 20-12, and fall short in the quarterfinal. Congratulations first, coaches. I have an opportunity to talk to you on winning the SWAC regular season title. And let's just start there before we move on. Let's look at the regular season. You guys went out. You got a victory over Louisiana Tech and Tulsa in non-conference play. Played a tough schedule in non-conference all over the country. Then you get into conference play. You lose 3 games in the regular season. In the regular season, by a combined 3 points, a 1-point loss to Bethune-Cookman on the road, and a 1-point loss back against Alabama State on the road and at home. Alabama State is the only team on the season to sweep us, and they go on to win the SWAC championship. But those 3 tough losses by a combined 3 points, looking back at the regular season, you still wrap it up as the regular season champs. Your evaluation on the recap of the regular season, Coach.
You know what? I'm so proud of the players for sticking together. We preach connectivity, and there's no way you accomplish what we accomplished this year without them being together. It was really fun to watch. I'm so happy with my staff, the hard work, the dedication, the scouting reports, the development. I think all of that lined up to help us have a special year. And, I think the way it ended was not what we wanted. But to be honest with you, that's a part of this process. when you look at the makeup of our roster, we don't have a lot of guys who had experience in tournament situations. And I'm be honest with you, I didn't like the result, but I love it because it's a setup. And if we can keep the core group of our guys back, the guys who played the majority of the minutes throughout this season, and they understand that that's a part of the process, Perry, the sky's the limit. So I feel good about where we are and how we're going to move forward.
Then we get into the SWAC tournament, take on Grambling State. Listen, it's been tough every time Southern and Grambling. Let's just throw it all out. We know it's a rivalry game, and damn, it had to be a draw for us in the tournament. 65-62 final in overtime, Coach. You guys in this game shoot 22 of 69 for 31%, 3 of 17 from the three-point line, shooting 17%, but a perfect day from the free throw line, 15 of 15 on the other side for Grambling. They were 19 of 59, shooting 32%, 7 of 21 from the three-point line, shooting 33%. They were 20 of 26 from the free throw line, shooting 76%. Walk us back through that game, Coach. Let's go through it as we go through regulation first half, because in the first half, you guys seem to have had that game together. The second half, Grambling battled back, and then it just went into back and forward all the way through overtime.
Well, I think to start that game, we looked like a team who had some jitters, was a little nervous. We mishandled some passes. There were a couple of transition opportunities we had that we didn't capitalize on. But we were still able to go in at halftime up. And, we come out in the second half and we build on that lead. And, we lose the momentum. And one of the biggest momentum killers, right, in a pressure game, a tournament-type game, is to miss layups. And if you go back and look at that game, we were 15 of 35 on layups. Now, those are not uncontested. Some of those are contested, but yet plays that we should finish. And that's a momentum killer. And so we missed 20 layups in a game that we lose in overtime. And, usually when you lose a close game like that, you look back at your free throws. We missed those free throws, but we were perfect from the line. But it was the layups and turnovers that killed us in that game. We had 21 turnovers in that game. That's not a Southern Jaguar basketball team. And so we kind of shot ourselves in the foot and lose that game by one possession. Again, regulation was tied. But again, as frustrated as we could be, and I had some players who were really down on themselves after that game. Perry, it is a part of the building process. Mm-hmm. You got to go through something if you want to get something. Mm-hmm. And so that's the message that we're going to take into postseason.
Let me ask you this, and you're talking about postseason. What happened? What was the deal with the NIT? I just, for sure, and I think many of us thought that Southern was going to make it into the NIT.
Well, a few years ago, the regular season champion had an automatic bid. I really don't know why the NCAA went away from that. But there's been a couple of new developments. There's a tournament in Vegas called the Crown Tournament, which the winner gets a lucrative amount of NIL money. And the high major teams are really, if they don't make the NCAA, they're leaning towards the Crown Tournament. And I really thought that would open up a spot for us in the NIT, but disappointed that the committee didn't recognize the body of work that we put out there. Not only going through the regular season in a tough league, I think people know now that the SWAC is not a low major league, but to go through and lead the league from wire to wire, and then to be recognized for some national statistics. We finished the year as number one in bench scoring in the country. And then to be in the top 10 in steals. And so, to be able to accomplish some things like that against the kind of competition we played, I was a little disappointed that they didn't recognize us, but I'm not alone. I'm glad they didn't do us like South Alabama. They gave South Alabama a bid and then came back and took it away.
Mm.
And so, disappointed that we didn't get a look at that. And, we got to move on forward. We can't dwell in that place. It's time to, get to work this postseason and to try to be better moving forward.
Now I want to take because I'm gonna make you a broadcaster one day, right? Let's look at it from the SWAC overall standpoint. You being a coach at Alabama State, the team that swept you in the regular season, then the team that got hot and won the conference title, beating Jackson State. Your thoughts on Alabama State and watching them against St. Francis in the NCAA tournament, getting their first ever victory in a NCAA tournament?
You know what? Coach Matlock did a tremendous job with his team. And Alabama State, believe it or not, was one of the teams that myself and my staff discussed coming into this season. I felt like they had something that would allow them to either win the regular season or the tournament. And this is why. Coach Matlock's in his fourth year, and he's been able to retain a core group of guys in a day where good players, they have a good year. What's the first thing you want to do? Jump in that portal.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you look at the continuity they've had from year to year, they're bound to be good. Now, were they better than us? Well, that first game we played them in Montgomery, we lose by 1 and play our worst defensive game of the year. We give up 82 points and lose by 1. Now, that game here in Baton Rouge was a tough game. It was a typical conference game and a game we should have won.
Yeah.
And probably would have won if we had the right eyes on that last play.
Them damn
That's
refs.
all I'm going to say about that.
Damn refs.
but take nothing away from them. They had a good team. They were consistent. They were very organized. They were good defensively. They were good in terms of execution. And again, I think it's in large part because they have retained their good players.
They go in, they beat St. Francis, and I mean, hell, it came down. This pretty much been a testament to them all year. The end of the game. When you saw that last play for them against St. Francis, was you like, hey, this is what they do when the game is on the line with a couple seconds left?
Well, Perry, I'm not going to give too many secrets away, but I would tell you this, and I think our players could learn from this because they all watch that game. And so we do game situations every day. And sometimes I think they look at me like I've lost my mind because on game day practices, I always do the home run play, that last second play when you got to go length of the court.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of different scenarios that we create, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they created the bunch scenario where there's a loose ball and kind of like a scrum. And so what happens is the referees will never call a foul on that play. But if you're in the right place and the ball finds you and you put it off the glass, you can win a game. And so it was amazing that I had about 8 players text me on that play and say, Coach, I get it now. That's why we do home run. And so, again, credit to Alabama State for being organized and good enough and experienced enough to execute that play to get them a win.
Where do we go from here with Southern's basketball program? Just completed year 2. We continue to see the uptick of the program, SWAC regular season champions. And now where do we go from here going into year 3, Coach?
Well, we got to build on what we've done the last 2 years. I think coming in that first year, inheriting some players that I had no idea who they were, we were able to put a team together that finished 3rd in the league. But more important than where we finished, we had to establish a culture, right? We had to make sure guys understood that the only place win comes before work is in the dictionary. So we had to create an atmosphere of work. We did that. And so this year, to be able to take a step beyond that, we had to make sure we had the right attitudes about work. And for the most part, we did. Every day is not going to be a good day, but this group had a good attitude about working and about playing together, right? And so we have to build on that. next year we need to have a team on the floor that plays just as hard, but plays where they have a sense of responsibility and a better sense of trust in each other. And I think if we do that, we can take another step. And that's exciting to me. I want to take that step.
Well, Coach, I believe in you. And it's more exciting for me to watch you build this thing. Just remembering year one, having a conversation. The number one thing you told me was, we got to get a culture in here. Now you're creating that culture. Now you're starting to see it translate. And it's growing pains with any program, and we see it. But nonetheless, we know we headed in the right direction. So, Coach, man, thank you for coming on this morning. Definitely won't be the last time I have you on. We'll continue to talk about it, especially if you need anything towards the program, need to be worked, anything towards recruiting. I'm here to put the word out so we'll be able to talk to the people that's out there listening.
Hey, well, look, I'm going to leave you with this, Barry. The portal is hot right now. Look, there's 287 names that are in already, and we're actively working it. And so if you know those folks who got some money that they want to contribute to the NIL, we will take it. Because as always, you want to try to improve your talent level.
That's it. That's the voice of Coach Kevin Johnson, also known as Coach KJ, Southern University head men's basketball coach. Thank you, Coach, and, man, enjoy your day watching some basketball.
All right, thank you. Always a pleasure to be on.
Yes,
have
sir.
A good one, sir.
All right, have a good one. All right, let's get ready to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk some football. We're going to have Southern University offensive coordinator, my man, the offensive coordinator, Coach Mark Frederick. So you guys stay tuned. Let's talk football. All right, stay tuned. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
And they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys listening and watching with us. Everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area. Good to have you guys. Turn your radios up as we got a very good segment right here. And everybody watching on our YouTube and Facebook Live, glad to have you guys. Be sure to go hit that subscribe button and like and following as we get into spring. Spring just started a couple days ago. So, we get that term spring football. So now y'all not going to let me live. Basketball season's over, and I don't bring any type of football news to you. So to talk Southern University football today with me and with you guys, the offensive coordinator at Southern University, my man, Coach Mark Frederick. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Glad to have you with us this morning.
Glad to be on, man. Glad to be on.
All right, let's get some football because the people fiending. They like Pookie on New Jack City. They just want a little bit more, Coach. They can't wait till the fall, and they cannot wait till they see a spring game or some type of practice. So let's jump into it. Looking at Southern University, the offense coming back this year, you're heading into your second year as the offensive coordinator, man. You're looking at your identity of this offense, and let's just start right now with what we know. Who do we have returning so far that we know on offense coming into the spring?
Well, we returned.
And we can start position, whatever position. You can move around offense, offensive line, running back, however you want to do it.
I'll start with the big guys up front. We returned every old lineman that played down the stretch last year. With the new rule, and we even got Joshua Trash back. So, that's going to help at the center spot. We got the tight ends back. We got both tight ends back, and we got a young guy that's able to play this year. So he's there. That was here all last year.
You talking about Ethan Howard?
No, Hubert Khalif
from
St. Aug out of New Orleans. At the wide receiver spot, we returned some guys that played, but we got some young guys in that room that we're very excited about. And we added some guys mid-year to the offense as well. We got Jalen Woods back at quarterback. He's the only returning quarterback from this past season. As we know, the other two got in the portal. And at the running back spot, we young this spring. We added a freshman from Southern Lab mid-year. He was able to graduate early in Asbury, Amari in Asbury. And so we still looking for some guys for that room. And so maybe, when this portal open back up, we'll be doing some more work in the recruiting aspect, adding some more pieces to the offense.
Asbury, when we was having that conversation, you have those scat backs, but he seems to be the power back.
Definitely, man. He's weighing about 217 pounds right now, so that's a plus. He's killing the off-season workouts, man, like he's already been here, and I'm excited to see what he brings this spring to the offense.
What identity for you, and, not giving away too much, but every coach has an identity, particularly on the side of the ball in which that they want to be known and seen for. And for you, what's the identity that you're looking overall to have at Southern University offensively?
Number one, physical. We got to be physical, and that starts up front. We're taking on the identity of the head coach. We're going to be a blue-collar, hard-working team. And with that being said, so the offense got to mold into it. Now, we want to be explosive. We want to score points. But at the end of the day, when it comes time to, we want to be able to roll up our sleeves and knock people off the ball and get those hard-fought yards and score those down-the-line touchdowns. When teams think the game is out of hand, we want to be able to lean on people. So that's our identity. We got to go through this spring. The biggest thing is to stay healthy. We want to stay healthy, but we got to get a better understanding and better knowledge of the offense. That's the number one goal. Also, we want to cut down on the turnovers. We want to be more consistent in the passing game, and we want to get guys comfortable within the system. So that's going to be a big emphasis this spring. We'll start next Thursday. Next Thursday evening, we'll start spring ball, and I'm excited, man.
Let me ask you this. We talked about the guys that's returning. Besides Asbury at the running back position, in which you were able to get him in, What do we get out of that portal coming out of December? What do we have coming into the program that we know as of now in terms of new faces?
We added a quarterback, Jaguar Journal. We added 3 offensive linemen. We added 2 wide receivers on offense.
Mm-hmm.
They're here this spring, so they'll get a jump start on learning the system, as well as Asbury. Like you said, he's just a high school kid, but it's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be exciting to get these guys acclimated. They've been going through the off-season conditioning program with Coach Moore. I like what I see so far, but I'm not going to get too happy until I see it on the field.
That's right. And then as you talk about getting familiar with the playbook, that's the number one thing with guys. As much talent as you can have, they have to be focused to understand what's being called to be able to go out there and execute it, because practice makes perfect. What you do on practice is what you're going to do in the game ultimately. And I have seen you really hamper down on guys focusing and needing to focus at practice to understand what it is that you're calling, what it is that we need to go out there and execute. And that particularly starts, most importantly, with the person who's going to have the ball in their hand the most, and that's the quarterback position. Looking at Noah Biden, who is now gone, and Xavier Tissett, who is now gone, it leaves Jalen Woods. Jalen Woods is the guy that came up last on the depth chart out of the 3 that no one, I think, saw coming and what he was doing. But at the end of the day, he gave Southern the best opportunities in terms of the explosive plays last year when you're looking in the passing game. As you watched him mature, and especially picking up this offense later on in the season, what did you start to see about Jalen Woods that separated him from the rest of those guys?
A guy that prepared himself. He never went to practice as if, hey, I'm not going to play. He always studied the film. He prepared himself during the week as if he was the starter. And, I think that gave him the edge. Once he got his shot, he didn't look back. If you look at some situations like that, take a Tom Brady, for instance. If whatchamacallit never get hurt, we wouldn't know how good Tom Brady was. So I think Jalen Woods is taking it by the horn, man, and he rolling with it. He came into the offseason with a different attitude, a different mindset. I love what I'm seeing from him. He's leading the team. I think it's going to be some great things for him.
And looking at that, because, I have to talk about the quarterback the most, because Southern loves his quarterbacks with a history of great quarterbacks. And you right there leading the way with the offense, man. When you look at with Jalen, what is his attributes? What do you like about this kid? What does he bring to the quarterback position besides just, being prepared? Because we know that's what starts first as the field general. But what do you like about his game?
He's smart. He's smart, and he can make them throws. He's working on his agility and quickness and stuff this offseason. He'll be better, as far as that goes. But as far as him standing in the pocket, being able to make the throws and just commanding the offense, them guys play for him. They rally for him. So evidently he didn't earn their respect. And, confidence, once he built his confidence up, man, he was rolling. I wish I could have had him for the championship game, but, that's just how I roll. But I'm excited to see what he has in store for this season.
Most importantly, as an offensive coordinator, man, what are you learning about yourself? Because we often think it's easy to just go out there and make it do what it do with what you have. But, man, if you don't have this, you don't have that, it's like cooking. You need all the right ingredients for it to come out and taste the way that you want. And we often sometimes, look, I know the women out there, they love those TikTok recipes, right? They give you all of this stuff on how to make it, and then you cook it and say, well, it don't taste like what I would have thought. That's because I can give you the ingredients, but you got to know the time. You got to know this, you got to know that. But to be the offensive coordinator, knowing with what you have, you may not have everything that you want, but you still got to make it work. What are you learning about yourself in terms of making things work with what you have?
Patience, man. Patience. Not just getting away from something because it didn't work this time. And our old coach once said that, hey, if you can't adjust your play calling or your scheme to the talent that you have, then you'll never be successful in this business. I don't have just no one locked system that we have to do. Whatever the talent is that we have, we're going to use it, and we're going to try to get the most out of them guys to help them be productive. put them in the best position to help this team win. So, I've been on a team where we scored 30 points a game. Like we was number one in the conference, but we didn't make it to the championship. And then on the flip side of it, this past season, we didn't score as many points as we wanted to, but we did the things necessary to win some tough games, and we made it to the championship. We came up short, but that's something to build on. Just like Coach KJ just said, I was listening to him talk, man, he's done an excellent job from year one to year two. And so now I'm ready to see that same type of jump in this offense from year one to year two.
It all starts up front in the trenches, and I was very critical early on in the season last year, but we knew we had to get that gelling for the trenches on that offensive line, and you guys ended up making some roster spots move, and it ended up starting, and you saw got better and better because early on we couldn't even rush for 100 yards, and I'm like, hey, this is not a Southern offense I'm used to seeing. Southern, if you want to know how to run the ball, you watch Southern, and as the year went on, you start to see it open up. The offensive line became better at blocking those running backs hitting the hole. When you're looking at continuity and growing and developing the offensive line, what are the steps? And when you talk about the patience in order to get that O-line where you would like them to be up front, first, what you saying being physical.
Yeah, well, that starts in the weight room and attitude and mindset. And I think they've taken on that challenge. The guys, first of all, in my opinion, that's the hardest position to play. And, that's an argument for another day, but them guys are really buying into the system, buying into what their coach is teaching them and going forward with it. To get 5 guys to move as one, to move as one all the time, that's pretty tough. And so them guys are really spending a lot of time together with each other. They're learning each other. And with that comes trust. And that's where it starts at, Perry. If them guys trust each other up front, we're going to be okay.
And, and that's for the people out there that's listening because, once again, like I told Coach KJ, it's easy for us a lot of times to sit in the stands and, say what I would have did or what you would have did or what anybody could have did, but that's just game day. You got to be at practice every day. You got to be in film room every day. You got to be can't sleep because you're constantly thinking. And for a lot of us, we only look at it on Saturday more so than as the offensive coordinator. You're looking at it every single day as you're evaluating players, you're evaluating plays, you're looking against defenses, what worked, what does not work. And as you move forward to this year, what would be the biggest emphasis for you? Because you got to be excited that you get Kendrick Grimes back. But what is going to be the biggest emphasis to move this offense forward better than last year?
To be honest with you, man, we did the comparison. We improved in every category by 4 or 5 slots in the conference from 23 to 24. It was only one slot that we didn't improve in as an offense, and that was scoring offense. So I put the challenge out there when we came, once I got here last year, I pulled up the same stats. You're going to judge the offense off a number.
Mm-hmm.
And we pulled up the stats. We were 8 to 10 or 12 in the conference in every category on offense in 23. And to go into 24 with the challenge of, I put it on. I say, hey, man, we got to find O-line depth. And I think we answered that better. We got to improve in the passing game. I thought we improved in the passing game. We improved in the rushing game. Everything improved except scoring offense. And of course, that's my job. We got to score points to win games. So now to take that next step, that's what I want to see. I want to see us as a consistent, fluid offense. Get the playmakers the ball in space. Let them make plays. So the quarterback position has got to improve, better from last year. We got to control the offense. We got to control the game. We got to help our defense out. And the way we do that is protect the football, be able to run the football, and be able to throw the football. So, yes, I want to do all of those things. I want to be scoring 50 points a game. I want to do all that. But the main goal is, at the end of the day, I want to win. And so whatever it takes for us to win, that's what we're going to do as an offense.
Let me ask you this just to clarify. Somebody saying Kendrick Grimes is leaving the pro. Is he returning? Because I know they gave him another year of eligibility. Is he returning or is he out?
Right. With the new rule, he has another year of eligibility. And if I'm not mistaken, he met with Coach Graves, and I think he decided to go into the portal. I haven't seen nothing official yet, but I think he's going into the portal.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, because I know I said his name, and then people started, saying, hey, this and that, but now y'all heard it. We're not sure. We'll figure out. Just because you put your name in the portal, we see it all the time, don't mean you're going nowhere. So
that's true.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. But, Coach, man, thank you for coming on this morning. Listen, don't be no stranger here to the Jaguar Journal, baby. I want to talk some football with you. I be so limited on my time, but look, we can open it up. We can talk some football here for the people, because at the end of the day, I could go through all them other sports, man. That's all they want to talk about. They want to talk about football.
I understand, but congratulations to the men and women basketball, man. Great season. That's what we want to be, Terry. We want to be SWAC champs. And it started already. It started when we came back to winter conditioning. So we're working towards that goal. All we need is the support. Support the kids, push them, and we're going to be there. We're going to be there.
Well, Coach, man, appreciate you for coming on, man. I'll be hitting you up here soon. You guys are going to get things going. You said started up this week. So I'll definitely be talking with you, man, and we just do some updates, get the people some opportunity to catch up with what's going on with the program so we can create some excitement going into the season. We can get those ticket sales to go up, and we can try to make sure A.W. Mumford Stadium next year with the home game lineup that we have is packed each and every Saturday. The Jaguars are at home. So we got to create that culture, as we talked about before, and that excitement right here. So, Coach, thank you for coming on this morning, man.
Thank you, man. Go Jags.
Go Jags. All right. Mike, how long we have? I got time for a break? All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back and close things out. You guys stay tuned. More to Jaguar Journal.
Quarter, with Jackson State leading 10-3. Ball's at the 31-yard line. Again, throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. And every time you think Southern struggles, they come back, they make a play. They've done it all year long. Kick is up. Kick is good. Second down and a yard to go. Again, they give it to Lewis. Lewis finds room. Lewis still on his feet. Lewis making a move to the outside. He's inside the 25, the 10, the 5. What a run by Ryan Lewis. 69-yard run for Ryan Lewis. And how about this? Kicks up, kicks good. Halftime, George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Southern trailed in this football game 10-7. Then they reel off 14 straight points, and they do it with the big plays.
And that's something that we didn't think would happen, at least from Southern's perspective. They've been able to methodically go down the field on people and win ball games, not the big plays. You saw the big play by Ryan Lewis running 69 yards, the nice throw by Terrence Levy. This is something that I don't think Jackson State thought they would see in Southern either, and they go into halftime down by 7 points.
Jackson State came in the best defense out of the SWAC. And if you take a look at the highlights, you will see that this club, and I'm talking about Southern, was really able to capitalize on a couple of miscues, and the big plays are the result of it.
And this is Daniel Guy with a nice stiff arm to Bradley Pittman there. And he runs that ball 36 yards inside for a touchdown, makes it 7-3. And then.
All right, good morning, everybody. I'm back. I'm Perry White. It's the Jaguar Journal. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning. Be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at the Jaguar Journal. Be sure to follow us on X and Instagram at the Jaguar Journal _ and on our Facebook page, Jaguar Journal. Hit the like and follow button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for everybody out there listening, man. As always, it's nothing but love. And thank you for everybody that came on this morning. Coach Chris Crenshaw, the baseball coach over at Southern University. If you're in Houston this weekend, Southern baseball taking on Prairie View. Go over there and check them out. Want to thank Coach Kevin Johnson, the basketball coach, coming on, talking to us, Southern University men's basketball coach, talking to us about the program, how the season wrapped up. congratulations to Coach Carlos Funches and the women's basketball team getting their first ever NCAA tournament victory win and the first for the SWAC on the women's side. So big shout out to them and my man, Coach Mark Frederick, the offensive coordinator at Southern University, coming on talking to us about football, man. Congratulations to all the teams. Hey, thank you guys, and congratulations to y'all. You may not have did nothing this morning, but if you got up and you turned on and you listened to us, congratulations to you for getting up, and thank you for checking us out, man. Once again, I'll be back next week at the same time in the same place. As always, it's the Jaguar Journal. Have a great week, everybody. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.